So welcome. This is 5 bone health lies. You've been told a lot of poor information, and we're going to make it right. We're going to correct some things. So a little housekeeping before we get started. To ask me any questions, simply use the Q&A feature located. It's at the bottom of your Zoom window, and you may have to hit escape to exit the full screen mode. And I'll answer as many questions as I can while we're going about this process of the webinar. And we'll also save time at the end, but Krista is here to answer questions. And also this webinar is for educational purposes only. The purpose of this webinar is to educate, promote understanding and knowledge of whole body wellness topics. So feel free to share this information with your friends. And we ask that you do not distribute or duplicate this information or any sort without any permission from Native Path. Also, we will be emailing you a recording of this webinar after this webinar. So don't worry about if you have to miss something or you want to write notes or anything, you'll have the ability to see the whole webinar again. If you want, you can just forward that on to your friends. That's completely okay. So here's the agenda of what we're talking about today. Number one, we're going to discuss those 5 bone health lies and some myths about osteoporosis. We're going to debunk those. Number 2, we're going to talk about 4 foods to stop eating now. And you want to stop eating these, please. No matter what I say about what to do in terms of the things you want to start adding, we have to stop doing some things. We're going to show you what those are. Number 3, we're going to talk about the #1 nutrient for rebuilding bones and improve bone density by up to 7% in only 1 step. And again, at the end, we're going to have a live Q&A with me and get all your bone health questions answered. So number 1, let's talk about 5 osteoporosis myths and debunk them. So myth number 1 is that osteopenia always leads to osteoporosis, which it does not. So a diagnosis of osteopenia means you have a state of relatively low bone mass compared to the standard, and what your bone density score tells you. So between -1 and -2, you have what's diagnosed as osteopenia. And if you have lower than -2.5, you may be diagnosed with osteoporosis. And actually, while we're there, I know we had a lot of people take the DEXA scan. So if you're comfortable with it, if you're willing to share where you're at, if you know what your T-score is, and post that in the chat, that would just be great for me and Krista to know, just to get an idea of where everybody's at and generally kind of get an average in where we want to take everybody, because we want to get you moving from wherever to up in the T-score, right? So you can see here what the bone looks like in the normal bone, and then osteopenia state bone, and osteoporosis, and you have severe osteoporosis. So simply put, osteoporosis is the more serious progression of osteopenia. Now, however, having symptoms of osteopenia doesn't necessarily mean that you're currently losing bone. It's important to know that your bones are in fact alive, and it's never too late to build bone because it's living tissue that constantly repairs itself. And because it's a living tissue, feeding your bones the key nutrients they need to grow and maintain strength is absolutely essential. It's really important for your health. And again, I saw this all the time as a physical therapist when my patients would have a fracture. This would happen a lot. There would be mobility issues and they would have trouble with their balance. They would have a fall. They'd fracture their bones because their bones were so weak. And then the general health of that person would go down because they wouldn't be moving. They wouldn't be getting activity. And that's when really a lot of disease can come in. So this is a big part of longevity here. Myth number 2, you cannot have osteoporosis if you consume regular calcium, basically milk. So you've heard the classic Got Milk campaigns that have been made you aware that calcium is important for strong bones, but that is only part of the story. That's typically the only story that we've been told. Calcium, it's true, it is important, but it's a myth that simply taking high amounts of calcium will guarantee bone health. So to protect your bones, you need many additional essential nutrients and protein, not just calcium. In fact, you need some of those nutrients just to get any benefits of calcium. When it comes to calcium, it's not so much how much calcium you take in, it's how well your body absorbs that calcium. And really, it's the other factors, other essential nutrients along with protein that are going to do that. So for example, without enough vitamin D, getting it from the sun, or you can supplement it, your body only absorbs 10 to 15% of the calcium from your diet. But when you take enough, the absorption rate jumps 30 to 40%. Again, it's all about absorption. And for me, milk is generally not the answer, right? There's a lot of other issues with milk in terms of how much it spikes your insulin and what it can do to your health in a number of different ways, specifically your gut. So I'm generally not a fan of getting your calcium from milk or really calcium supplementation in general. We'll talk more about that. Myth number 3, only older white women are at risk of developing osteoporosis. And older white women, they may be more likely to get osteoporosis, but they are far from the only ones who will. And I hear all the time that osteoporosis is a woman's disease and men really don't need to worry about it. And this may stem from the longstanding belief that low estrogen levels are the primary cause of bone loss. But you can see here, bone loss, it happens to both men and women right around that age of 25. Everyone's bone density tends to go down over time. So this is something we're talking about today that not only affects women, but men as well. And while estrogen and menopause have been shown to play a role in bone loss, it's certainly not the only major cause. And unfortunately, men get osteoporosis too. In fact, by age 65, most men begin losing bone mass at the same rate as women. But bone loss, even osteoporosis, doesn't just affect elderly populations. It can affect you in your 30s and 40s. So bottom line, people can develop osteoporosis regardless of age, sex, race, if they don't take the proper lifestyle steps to circumvent it. Myth number 4, osteoporosis is normal. As your bones age, they should get weak. And that's a very poor way to think about things. I don't like that. It gets us thinking like victims, and we don't want people thinking like that. We want you thinking like a hero. So one of the most dangerous bone health myths is that osteoporosis is inevitable as you age. Now remember, osteoporosis is not normal. It means your bones are in a state of dis-ease. They are not receiving the care they require in order to thrive. Really important to know that. We don't want to have the victim mindset, and we want to keep the mindset that there's something we can do. You can definitely change things. While there are some fixed risk factors, such as your age and gender, you can control many of the other non-fixed factors that lead to excessive bone loss, osteoporosis, and fracture. And major controllable risk factors include smoking cigarettes, alcohol consumption, a sedentary lifestyle. Everyone knows I'm huge on movement, really important, and deficiencies in nutrients, including vitamin D and collagen protein. The truth is, you can have strong bones at any age. It's absolutely certain. Myth number 5 that we want to debunk here is that there's nothing you can do once you have osteoporosis other than take a drug. Now, Big Pharma would like you to believe that the only way to deal with bone loss is to take medications. So like Fosamax is probably one of the more common ones. Boniva is another one, right? But this can be further from the truth. And it kind of irks me, as someone who worked in the healthcare field for so long, that the other things, the principles I'm going to talk about today, were never discussed, right? So in today's healthcare system, many doctors, drug companies, and insurers would like you to believe there is nothing you can do to improve your bone health outside of drugs, when in fact, this is deceitful, and there's nothing more than a ploy to fatten their pocketbooks. Really, there's a lot of money in the food industry, specifically in the pharmaceutical industry, and a lot of truths are being kept from you. So we really want to open you up to other options. This idea that this pill that is going to give you a lot of side effects is the only answer. I call that medicine 2.0. And we want to move to like medicine 3.0, a more evolved, aware state about what's happening with the whole part of the human body. Even worse, osteoporosis drugs don't even accomplish the goal of reducing fractures. In fact, one of the side effects of biphosphonates is atypical fractures. And this is a type of drug causing more problems than it solves. It's a tragic pattern in the story of our modern healthcare system, right? So this is something that's really important, because we need to know that when we take these prescription drugs to help improve bone density, it's true that they will improve bone density, right? You could look maybe on a DEXA scan and the score will improve, but what's happening with the medications is that the bone isn't creating an actual matrix that creates more stability, right? It's more dense, but it's not necessarily coming together in a way where the matrix is able to bear more weight. So even though I saw a lot of people taking prescription drugs, but still having fractures, and that's the main reason why, is because it's very unnatural, right? And the bone is growing back, but it's not growing back in a way that is very stable. And it leads to a lot of problems, specifically with the hip fractures. Anybody had hip fractures before? It is a painful thing. If you had hip fractures before, type yes. is a not fun thing to go through. So we want to do what we can to avoid that. So there is good news. And by addressing the true cause of bone loss and making the natural lifestyle changes required to reverse it, research now proves that it is possible to build stronger bones at any age. There's a natural way to bone health that combines nutrition, physical activity, and fall prevention. And next comes eliminating, again, we have to get rid of the stuff that's not serving us, with eliminating the lifestyle factors that compromise bone health, and finally eating more of the foods that contain bone building nutrients, which can help you regain your bone mass quickly. In a nutshell, it's a lifestyle modification. We have to change the way we eat, the way we move, the way we live. We have to get rid of the stuff that's not good. We have to bring in the stuff that is going to help make our bones stronger. So bottom line, having bone loss is not a death sentence to your bones. You can do something about it. So again, we saw a lot of people who have taken DEXA scans. Sometimes we get a test result back and it can just feel like, oh gosh, this is not good. It's okay. It's okay. We can make that number go up. And I want to test it with you. I want to see what happens when you implement some of these strategies that we're talking about today. Here we go. Number four, we're going to talk about 4 bone dissolving foods to stop eating today. Again, I mentioned there's things we got to stop. Let's get into that. We're going to talk about number 1, hydrogenated oils are an absolute no-no. Number 2, table salt. This is distinct from like the good quality salts like Himalayan salt and Celtic sea salt, but table salt can be an issue. Carbonated drinks, and I'm talking here more about the sodas, not necessarily carbonated waters. And then number 4, wheat bran, specifically the gluten-containing wheats out there. So let's get into number 1, bone dissolving food number 1, hydrogenated oils. These are the things that I'm thinking many people who are on this call grew up, and these oils were actually labeled as healthy, like margarine, Crisco, things like that. My parents were always using that stuff. But trans fats are a form of unsaturated fat associated with a number of negative health effects. And the synthetic processing used to create hydrogenated oil destroys any naturally occurring vitamin K. It's an essential vitamin for strong bones in vegetable oil. So you'll find this in a lot of fast foods, a lot of processed foods that's still being used. Another thing I would add here is, in general, industrial seed oils. This would be things like safflower oil, canola oil, vegetable oil. None of those are doing your bones any service either, right? Those are also very inflammatory to your gut system, to your cells, that cause a lot of free radicals in your body, and basically cause you to age faster, right? With your fats. After this call, one of the best things you can do is throw away any of those bad fats and replace them with the good stuff, right? Replace it with grass-fed butter, which is rich in vitamin A and D and K, and those are all good for your bones, and avocado oil and coconut oil and olive oil. Those are the kind of things you want to be cooking with, but none of the stuff that typically the food industry has actually been labeling as healthy. Number 2 here is table salt. So again, we're talking about kind of the processed standard table salt that most people are using, as opposed to the healthy stuff like Himalayan salt or sea salt or Celtic salt. So while sodium plays an important role in overall health, over-consuming table salt or eating excessive amounts of high sodium foods can pose a great obstacle to a sturdy skeleton. And research has found that postmenopausal women with a high salt diet lose more bone minerals than other women of the same age. So really important to know that. Be careful with it. Number 3 is carbonated drinks. And again, I'm talking about the sodas here, not necessarily the waters, but soft drinks. And yes, even the diet stuff, that is not healthy in any way, right? Are packed with phosphoric acid, which can cause an increase in the blood's acidity levels. As a result, the body pulls calcium out of the bones in order to bring the acidity levels back to normal. Okay, really important to know that. Carbonated drinks that are water, the kind of the unflavored stuff, that typically is okay. But one thing you want to be careful about that is people typically have a lot of digestion issues with those carbonated drinks. So if you're having any digestive issues and you're someone who drinks carbonated water a lot, I would encourage you to maybe back off that and just see what happens. But generally, carbonated sodas, diet or not, are not good for your bones. So if you're someone who's trying to improve your bone health, but you're taking those, I highly advise you to stop. It's not doing us any favors. Number 4 is wheat, specifically wheat bran, the gluten-containing wheat. So like beans, wheat bran contains high levels of phytates, which can prevent the body from absorbing calcium. Again, absorbing calcium. It's not so how much calcium you bring in, it's how well you absorb it. We have to remove these factors that are preventing us. So that includes the breads, that includes the cereals. So unlike beans, though, which also have phytates, 100% wheat bran is the only food that appears to reduce the absorption of calcium in any other foods eaten at the same time. Highly recommend, if you're someone who wants to strengthen your bones, stop eating the wheat. Stop eating all the gluten-containing grains in general. Those really aren't good for your bones. Again, they pull out the calcium, prevent you from absorbing it, make your bones weaker. So while avoiding bone-damaging foods will certainly help support efforts to keep bones healthy, there's one breakthrough nutrient that researchers believe has the greatest potential for rebuilding bones and strengthening your joints. And this one missing nutrient, older adults must have in order to maintain strong bones and joints. So you need more of this nutrient if you suffer from bone health conditions such as osteopenia, or are concerned about developing one as you age. And you also need it if your doctors have told you you're bone on bone. Has anyone been told by their doctor they're bone on bone? My patients would hear, just say yes, or better yet, put bone on bone in the chat. I would love to know that. It's something I heard all the time. But your joints are crackling, you're creaking more than usual, or you're noticing they're more inflamed and painful. That's where this nutrient can be helpful. Or if your skin is saggy and wrinkly, your nails are thin and your nails are breaking, and your hair is thinning or shedding more than usual. So you're a good candidate for that right? It's a special type of protein that all adults over the age of 30 are deficient in. In fact, researchers believe this protein to be key to solving the root cause of thinning bones and painful joints in seniors. And researchers uncovered what could be the biggest medical leap in decades. A protein so unimaginably effective, eating more of it could improve bone density by up to 7% and decrease joint pain by 38%. So you may have already heard about this protein before. I'm guessing many of these people on this call have, because whether you suffer from bone health conditions such as osteopenia, joint pain, discomfort, even sagging skin or thinning hair, you've probably already read the research and rave reviews about how one special type of protein can help. And what is it? It's collagen. But not just any ordinary type of collagen I'll be talking about today. I'll get to more of that in just a minute. So why is collagen so important? And everyone here knows I'm a huge fan of collagen. I started recommending it to my patients about 15 years ago. And I saw great results from it, and I'm really passionate about it. And why? Because studies have shown that many age-related health issues are directly linked to not having enough collagen specifically in your body. Unfortunately, the body's own production of collagen increasingly declines as we age, and this is referred to as collagen deficiency. In fact, by the time you hit middle age, your body could be producing less than half the collagen it did in your youth. And the bad news is, if you're over 50, the severity of collagen deficit only gets worse with each passing year, unless you do something about it. And this is a thing that I think is way more common for us in our modern age than it was for our native ancestors, because they would get more collagen naturally from the way they ate. They would eat nose to tail, they would eat all parts of the animal, and they had way more collagen-rich foods in their native diets than we do today. In our modern diets, we have very little of it, and it's causing an epidemic of this bone issues that we're seeing. So here's collagen loss with age. You can see from 0 to 10, it begins to decline around the age of 20. That's one question I get is it necessary to supplement with collagen before I'm 20 years old? Typically, I say no. But after that, it is something that over time can become more and more important. So beginning at the age of 20, the levels of collagen in our body starts to decline. By the age of 30, collagen in our skin declines dramatically, right? So you can see it goes down year by year, especially a lot between 30 and 40. And we see a consistent dip, right? All the way throughout our life. And replenishing your collagen, to me, it just makes sense. Again, we live in this culture that we just don't get enough of it in our modern diets. And the easiest way to build that back up is to put it back in your diet through supplementation. So in one study from the National Library of Medicine, postmenopausal women showed a 4.2% higher bone mineral density in the spine and a 7% higher bone mineral density in the neck. And collagen supplementation was also associated with favorable shift in bone markers, indicating increased bone formation and reduced bone degradation. A study published in June 2016 in the Eurasian Journal of Medicine found that patients with knee osteoarthritis who took collagen reduced joint pain during walking and had a quality of life superior to those on medications alone. And a separate meta-analysis from 2008 showed collagen to be effective in improving osteoarthritis symptoms, including stiffness and mobility. And a study from the Journal of Osteoarthritis and Cartilage assessed subjects suffering from knee and hip pain and found a 38% reduction in joint pain after just 12 weeks. So again, it's heavily studied. We know it absolutely works. Right? Now, the reason the collagen is so utterly effective and why it works for the bones and the joints is that collagen is not only the most abundant protein in your body, it's also the most abundant protein in your bones, right? In your actual bones, there's a massive amount of collagen. In fact, 20% of bone is composed of collagen. And here you can see the actual makeup of what bones look like. So your bone mass is 10% water. Please keep drinking water, right? This is really important that we keep doing that. It's 10% water, but it's also 20% organic material, from which is collagen type 1, which makes up 95%, and then bone cells are 5%. So collagen in bone provides the framework for calcium mineralization. And a weak collagen matrix provides insufficient calcium binding sites. So again, what we're saying here is it's not just the calcium, right? It's the collagen that impacts how well the calcium is working in your body, right? You can take all the calcium supplement you want and drink all the milk we want. Won't matter unless we do all these other things to make calcium work better for us. And an increase in this organic fraction and the following mineralization of the bone may result in increased bone mineral density. The other 70% is made up of inorganic minerals, mainly calcium and phosphorus. But again, the calcium doesn't work well unless we have these other essentials that are vitamins and minerals that are so important. And again, here you can see this normal bone matrix, right? Looks healthy, looks strong, looks sturdy, right? And then the osteoporosis, things are just missing. It's getting weaker, it's getting less dense. We want it to get back to its normal state. All right, so has your doctor told you that you're bone on bone? Did we get some yeses in there? I think we did. So it's a common thing. So collagen is also present in your cartilage, right? The thing that is the cushion between your knees and between many of your joints is cartilage, right? Collagen is there, right? It stretches over the ends of your bones and sits in the middle of your joints. And if this cartilage, if it keeps sliding and bending and moving, it allows you to have that mobility that you need. But when collagen levels decline with older age, the wear and tear on your joints and cartilage can cause bones to rub against each other. It's a very painful thing, can lead to problems with mobility. And it's important that we keep everything stable around there and start reversing that. And doctors, again, often refer to this as bone on bone because collagen helps the cartilage and your joints stay flexible, absorb shock, and generally stay well supported. Ensuring healthy levels of this vital protein can help protect against bone on bone conditions, but that is not all. So collagen is also incredibly beneficial for your skin, your hair, your nails, all the things that make you feel and look youthful. So one study found that women who consumed a collagen supplement daily for 12 weeks experienced increased skin hydration and a significant reduction in deep wrinkles compared to a control group. And another found that women who took collagen for 12 weeks had 76% less skin dryness, 12% fewer visible wrinkles, better blood flow in the skin. And in an 8-week study, 69 women aged 35 to 55 found that taking a daily collagen supplement significantly improved scalp dermis elasticity and hydration compared to the placebo, translating into visibly better hair health. And a study assessing brittle nail syndrome showed that collagen supplementation promoted an increase in 12% nail growth rate and a 42% decrease in the frequency of broken nails. So again, incredible amount of studies. And we're going to talk more and more about studies because I get super fascinated and geeked out by the studies because it shows us so much that this stuff works. So 5 things to look for on your collagen label if you want to boost bone health. And let's get into this. So number 1, 2 key types of collagen that are absolutely essential for keeping your body young and healthy. And these include type 1 and type 3. It's not type 2 or type 4 or 5, 6, 7. It's type 1 and type 3. That's what you want to look for. Number 2, collagen powder delivers more collagen peptides per serving than liquid collagen. There's been a lot of talk about liquid collagen lately, and I'm here to tell you that when you're comparing liquid versus powder collagen absorption on a serving to serving basis, powders come out on top because they provide more of the beneficial key ingredients to start with. Number three, it's important to make sure you're using hydrolyzed collagen that comes from a good manufacturing practice, a GMP certified facility in the United States. That's something that where you can feel good about the purity and know it doesn't have any bacteria or anything bad in there for you. Number four, you want to look for a non-GMO, hormone-free, antibiotic-free, something free of artificial flavors, preservatives, dairy, gluten, and sweeteners, right? There's a lot of collagen out there that comes from cows raised in a feedlot. They were given hormones and antibiotics, and that highly impacts the quality of that collagen and impacts how well you're going to absorb it. It's going to also impact how well that collagen actually makes changes in your body. So you really want to think about quality. Number five, make sure your collagen supplement contains bioactive collagen peptides. So you've probably heard of collagen peptides before. Most people on this call have. And maybe you're already taking them, but there's a big difference between regular collagen peptides and bioactive collagen peptides, especially when it comes to bone building benefits. So bioactive collagen peptides, from here on out, I'll call them BCPs for short, come from grass-fed, pasture-raised bovines, specifically their bones and hide. And this makes BCPs the purest, most potent source of type 1 and type 3 collagen, the two most abundant types of collagen in the body. So bioactive collagen peptides help you make more of your own collagen, whereas regular collagen peptides are going to restore the collagen that you've lost, right? There's a big difference there. And I like to think of it as bioactive collagen peptides help you produce collagen endogenously, whereas regular collagen peptides are more exogenously, something else that helps you restore, something on the outside that helps you restore the collagen that you've lost. So how does it do this? So bioactive collagen peptides undergo a special enzymatic hydrolysis process, which keeps the amino acids more intact, thus making bioactive collagen peptides more absorbable and increasingly more effective at stimulating your body's own natural collagen production. And here you can see native collagen and raw material compared to bioactive collagen peptides, just how the molecular makeup of each of them look. So that's not all. Due to the specialized enzymatic process, bioactive collagen peptides can contain a uniquely targeted superpower for building bones. And bioactive collagen peptides stimulate the collagen matrix to not only produce more collagen within bones, but they're also shown to stimulate bone building processes on the cellular level. In fact, researchers demonstrated that bioactive collagen peptides sourced from grass-fed bovine bones show dramatic improvement in bone mineral density. And the clinical results were so profound that these specialized bone building peptides were named Fortibone. It's the #1 form of collagen for fortifying bones. So this collagen, this is collagen really at its full potential, specifically for building bone health. So Fortibone contains a combination of bioactive collagen peptides derived specifically from the bones of grass-fed bovine, which gives it its clinically proven bone building benefits. Research shows that Fortibone not only helps improve bone mineral density, it also helps reduce the breakdown of bones as well as increase the speed by which bones heal after fracture. Again, we talked about fractures, so important. I know a lot of people are having surgeries that takes a long time to recover from. This can be an assistant in that, helping you heal faster. In fact, there are a number of breakthrough clinical studies that reveal these unbelievable effects at taking these bioactive collagen peptides in as little as 6 days. So the body starts really seeing the benefits very quickly. But before we review the research, it's important to understand how Fortibone works. So the secret behind it is its effectiveness lies in its ability to activate bone metabolism. So you think about bone metabolism in your body, you also have metabolism in your actual bones. In other words, these bioactive collagen peptides work by activating bone-building osteoclasts within our bones, which stimulate the synthesis of new bone material. And by activating our osteoblast, Fortibone helps rebuild bones, strengthen our bone collagen matrix, and speed up bone healing. And this is a good diagram that shows kind of what happens with that bone metabolism. So first we have the activation phase. You can see living cells here, right? This is where osteoblasts are activated by different triggers, including Fortibone, to produce new bone material. And then we move to the resorption phase. where you see activated osteoclasts, and those osteoclasts break down old bone mineral material. So really, we're getting rid of the body's going to start getting rid of the stuff that's weak, that's not useful. And then we move to the reverse phase. And this is where macrophage, like reverse cells, remove cell and mineral debris from bone breakdown. Again, getting all the bad stuff out. And then we move over to the formation phase with the osteoblast, right? And this is growth factors attract osteoblast in the area to produce new proteins that are subsequently calcified. And that process keeps happening over time to help build stronger bones and improve bone metabolism. So in fact, participants in one study taking Fortibone showed increased bone mineralization levels after just 6 days of use. So here we see improved markers of bone formation with bioactive collagen. Again, this is after 6 days of use where they're looking at the alkaline phosphate activity for a control where we take nothing versus the bioactive collagen peptides, right? So bone mineralization was increased in human osteoblasts after just 6 days with BCP treatment as indicated by increased alkaline phosphatase activity. Fascinating that the body works that fast. It is so great to see this. So shockingly, additional research showed that these specialized bioactive collagen peptides not only improved bone mineralization, but they also reduced the process of bone breakdown by 10%, right? So here you see osteoclast activity for a control compared to the bioactive collagen peptides. And you see it stays at 1 in the control and dropped by 10% to 0.9 on the BCP. So reduced degradation activity of human osteoclast class by 10% with the BCP treatment. So really great to see that. And again, it's a more stable bone matrix that's happening here when we're getting rid of all that bad stuff. Again, more studies for you. I told you I was going to talk about studies. So in 2018, daily supplementation with 5 grams of Fortibone for 12 months significantly decreased bone mineral density in postmenopausal women, showing a dramatic improvement. So improved markers of bone formation with bioactive collagen peptides. So here you can see the bone mineral density of the lumbar spine and the femoral neck and the hip, right? One on the left, one on the right. And you can see Fortibone, that's what's here in orange compared to the control in gray. And you can see the significant difference that's happening here in bone mineral density. So significant improvements in bone mineral density after Fortibone supplementation for 12 weeks, right? Look at that improvement. As a follow-up study in 2021, researchers discovered another profound benefit using these techniques called bioactive collagen peptides. And the researchers conducted a 3-year follow-up study with the same group of postmenopausal women to assess long-term effects of using Fortibone. And each year, the researchers looked at the bone mineral density of the neck and spine of the study participants. And they were shocked to find that women's bone mineral density continued to improve over the next 3 years of use. Again, you can change the score on that DEXA scan. Furthermore, the study showed that the longer you use Fortibone, the greater the bone building results will last. So check this out. Of all the things I'm going to show you today, this is the one that I find most fascinating, right? So let's start on the left, right? This is a breakthrough study that revealed the clinical increases in bone mineral density of the spine and neck by 7% observed over the following few years of daily use of Fortibone, right? So what we see here on the left are people, right? If you look at, you're going to see people who were in the study on a 3 years of Fortibone and people who are in the study for 4 years of Fortibone, okay? And the people who are on the study for 3 years of Fortibone, they didn't actually start using the Fortibone until year 1. So they had a whole year where they were not using Fortibone. And you can see here in this kind of brown line here, people that weren't using Fortibone, that were already in a state of osteopenia, they were doing absolutely, for that first year, on average, the theoretical annual loss, right, with what most people experience. At year 1, those people started taking Fortibone, and you can see an immediate shift. The line goes the other way. The bone density starts improving from year 1 to year 2, takes a big jump from year 2 to 3, and it continues to rise on into years 3 and 4, right? And here, what's great with the osteoporosis group, these are people who started with DEXA scans with a score of even lower than 2.5, right? They started at a state of osteoporosis. They started taking Fortibone, In year one, they're almost already out of an osteopenia state. From year 1 to 2, they get themselves out of that osteoporosis state, and they're now into that osteopenia state. So they radically improve their bone mineral density and have a new diagnosis. And that continues to improve in bone density from years 2, 3, and 4, right? Fascinating, right? If these people had not done anything, they would continue to go down over those 4 years, likely down to -2.8, -3 osteoporosis range, right? Fascinating to see that. But what's really interesting to me is that the people who are on the 3-year thing, they were going on that path, but they did something about it. They made a change. They started taking Fortibone every day, and it immediately started to tip up, right? One of the most fascinating studies I've seen. And on the right here, you have the same thing in terms of you have a group who the first year, but we're looking at the femoral neck, right, in the hip. But people in taking it for 3 years, that first year they didn't take anything, that brown line, it was going down on average just the way most people were. And in year 1, they started taking Fortibone. You see a decline in that drop. And by years 2 and 3, it starts to improve back up again, and it continues to rise. And again, with the people who are taking Fortibone, over that 4-year period, you see an immediate rise. And over the average of 4 years, a much better improvement from where they started, right? So clinical relevant increases in bone mineral density of the lumbar spine and the femoral neck observed over 3 and 4 years of daily supplementation with 5 grams of Fortibone. Really great to see this. And I mean, the graphs really speak for themselves. I love the science behind this. So in a separate 2018 study, researchers observed profound bone healing benefits in men and women undergoing surgery for different fractures. It looked at for improved bone healing after oral application of specific bioactive collagen peptides. So according to the study, Fortibone had a positive impact on bone healing with an improved clinical outcome compared to the placebo, and 79% of patients using Fortibone had a very good good outcome, while 50% of patients in the placebo group had a suboptimal or bad outcome. And you can see the pictures here where we're looking at the fractures and the way the bones kind of appear on an X-ray. So it's no wonder why experts refer to these bioactive collagen peptides as the missing piece in bone health management. Bioactive collagen peptides don't just restore lost collagen, they help your body create more collagen on its own in targeted areas naturally, which is why if you're considering using collagen to boost bone health, it's mission critical that the formula contains Fortibone. If you're someone who wants to improve bone health, I highly recommend Fortibone as part of your regimen, which is why I'm very excited to introduce this today. We're launching this brand new product. We're talking about Native Path Bone Health Collagen Peptides. And with 5 grams of Fortibone per serving, it's no surprise why experts agree that Native Path Bone Health Collagen is revered as the #1 supplement for stronger bones. We're so excited about this product. And you can see it has our new label too. I love the way these new labels are looking. We're going to talk more about it here. So we didn't stop at just supporting the bone health, right? We found another way to even add more benefits to this. So you see the research indicates that improvements in bone health can take months to unfold and up to a year of consistent daily use for the most dramatic bone building benefits. So that's why we added an additional set of fast acting skin boosting bioactive peptides called Verisol. And the bioactive collagen peptides in Verisol are derived specifically from the hide skin of grass-fed bovine and are clinically proven to improve skin health, elasticity, reduce wrinkles, and even improve the surface skin of cellulite. Best of all, the skin-enhancing benefits can be noticed in as little as the first few weeks of daily use. You start noticing the benefits and really seeing the benefits very quickly. That way, while your bones are being rebuilt from the inside out, you'll be able to experience the incredible beauty, boosting benefits of Verisol's unique combination of bioactive collagen peptides right away. So let's talk more about this. Number one thing that you'll see with the Verisol is increased skin elasticity. They found a 10% increase in skin elasticity was observed from 8 weeks of use. And you can see Verisol 2.5 grams a day, Verisol 5 grams a day, you saw even more improvement there. So bone mineralization was increased in human osteoblasts after 6 days of bioactive collagen peptides treatment as indicated by an increased alkaline phosphatase activity. Number two thing with Verisol is you'll see wrinkle Reduction. After just 4 weeks, a significant decrease in eye wrinkle volume was observed and a 20% decrease after 8 weeks. And that's a visible difference right there. And also improved cellulite. So a significant decrease in the degree of cellulite, skin waviness on thighs, and increased dermal density was observed after 8 weeks. You can see the placebo where they did nothing at all versus Verisol, and then see after six months, a radical reduction in the waviness of cellulite. So very effective in that way as well. And then also improving nail health. So a significant improvement in nail health, improved brittle nails, and a notable decrease in the frequency of broken nails was observed over a 6-month period. So Verisol is great for a whole lot of things, including increased hair thickness. A significant increase in hair thickness, structure, and appearance was observed after 16 weeks of use in women ages 39 to 75. And here again, you can see the BCP compared to the placebo over that 16-week period, improving hair thickness. So we designed Native Path Bone Health Collagen Peptides to support your bones and your youthful vitality and appearance. It's not just for your bones that you're going to see the benefit. You're also going to really notice it in your skin and your hair and your nails and so many other areas. So Native Path Bone Health Collagen Peptides contains 5 grams of Fortibone per serving. It's a potent combination of bioactive collagen peptides clinically proven to support bone mineral density, bone healing, and reduce bone degeneration. It also contains 2.5 grams of Verisol per serving. That's a specific set of bioactive collagen peptides clinically proven to improve skin health, elasticity, reduce wrinkles, and even improve the surface skin of cellulite. And it provides targeted bioactivity. The bioactive collagen peptides are derived specifically from bovine bone and bovine hide skin, which allow for optimal biosynthesis and absorption of collagen into target areas, namely your bones and skin. And it's made in a good manufacturing practice certified facility in the USA. Native Path Bone Health Collagen Peptides is third-party tested to ensure purity and potency, and it mixes clump-free and is easy to digest because it's naturally hydrolyzed with enzymes instead of chemicals, meaning it's broken down into smaller peptides that dissolve easily into hot and cold liquids and digest rapidly and smoothly. So how much to use for the best results? So based on research, using anywhere between 5 to 15 grams, that's 1 to 2 scoops of bioactive collagen peptides per day, can provide an array of bone and skin health benefits, as long as you're using it consistently for a minimum of 60 to 90 days. Again, the consistency really showed up on the studies. You saw how if you really go on long and long, about 1 year, 2 year, 4 years, that's where you see even more results and improvements in bone mineral density. So for older individuals, the effects of years and years of collagen deficiency may put them at a critical disadvantage. Thus, it's recommended for older adults to use at least 15 grams, that's 2 scoops of bioactive collagen peptides for at least 60 days or more in order to achieve maximum benefits. And using 2 scoops or a double dose is a method called collagen loading. Now, bioactive collagen peptides only works if you do this. If you take it consistently on a daily basis, all you have to do is simply add it to coffee or water or juice or your smoothie, and take the proper dose. Using 1 to 2 scoops daily stimulates the body to produce more collagen on its own, and take it for a proper amount of time. Clinical studies show that the longer you use the collagen, the greater and longer lasting the results will be. In other words, taking a scoop here and there just isn't going to cut it. Consistency really is key, which is why I recommend to my clients start with at least 3 jars of Native Path Bone Health Collagen Peptides at a time, and 6 jars if they want to be completely safe, and then take it for a period of at least 180 days. And a good way to do this is if you have this baseline test, your DEXA scan, start there, right? And then try this for 180 days, go get another DEXA scan, and then report back to us. And I would really love to know your results and get you to see the benefits of this. So there's never been a better time to secure your supply of our bioactive collagen peptides than now, because so many studies show that using more collagen for longer duration yields the greatest results. We wanted as many people as possible to have access to this powerful bioactive supplement. And unfortunately, with the high demand of grass-fed collagen and long lead time for production, we are only able to fulfill a limited number of orders each month. But that's where the good news comes in. So as an exclusive launch special, again, this is the first day we've ever announced this, We've set aside a very limited supply of Native Path Bone Health Collagen peptides just for you, the people attending this webinar, and are giving you the chance to stock up now with a very special discount. All you need to do, Krista just went ahead and posted a link in the chat, is go ahead and click on that, and you're going to find out more about the offer that we're giving you today, a very special offer just for everyone attending. So I want to make sure that everyone's happy and feels good about making that purchase. So introducing our Better Bones 60-day risk-free money-back guarantee. So at Native Path, we believe in the quality of our products. We believe in the purity of our products, which is why we offer a risk-free 60-day return and refund policy. And when it comes to building better bones, we believe Native Path Bone Health Collagen Peptides to be the most superior form of collagen to do just that. But don't take our word for it. So the research shows clinical increases in bone density by up to 7%. In fact, participants in one study, again, showed increased bone mineralization levels after just 6 days of use. And shockingly, additional research showed that our specialized bioactive collagen peptides not only improved bone mineralization, they also reduced the process of bone breakdown by 10%, a heavy amount of science. So just imagine the relief you'll feel knowing that with each scoop, you're building your way to stronger bones. And that's exactly what you'll be getting with Native Path Bone Health Collagen Peptides. And while we believe the research speaks for itself, we still want you to feel safe and secure with your purchase. And that's why for any reason at all, you're not completely satisfied with your results in the first 60 days, simply reach out to our friendly customer care center for return assistance. And rest assured, you can order with confidence in knowing that your purchase is backed by our 60-day money-back guarantee. So again, thank you everyone. Again, Krista posted a link in there. You can learn more about our bone health collagen today. We're just launching it. We're super excited about it. We want you to be a part of that. So again, you're going to have a link to this whole webinar sent to you. You can learn, you can go back and take notes, anything you want. You can send that to your friends. It's always going to be available for you. So you might have some questions, and there's some questions I thought of first. I'm going to address these before we get to your questions. Number one question, will this replace the collagen I'm already taking? And so a lot of people are going to be taking the regular collagen peptides that we have. And the question is, what do I do about this bone health collagen? Do I stop taking the other stuff? What I recommend is that you use both forms of collagen, especially if you're over 50. And here's why. Bioactive collagen peptides help your body make collagen on its own, and the regular peptides help you restore lost collagen. And taking both forms together is the best way to improve and maintain healthy levels of collagen in your body. And Native Path collagen peptides provide a foundation of supplemental collagen and go wherever the body feels it's most needed. While bone health collagen peptides contain specific peptides to really target your bones and your skin. So again, collagen peptides, it's going to go all kinds of places. It's going to go to your tendons, to your ligaments, also your hair, your nails, also your bones. And that's very foundational. It's kind of like the foundation of your house, right? Before you build above structures, you want that foundation to be strong. Bone health collagen is specifically going to target your bones and also your skin and your hair and your nails, because we put the Verisol in there, right? But you really want that foundation to be strong. And what I recommend is you match the scoops, right? If you do 1 scoop of the collagen peptides, I recommend you do 1 scoop of the bone health. If you're really wanting to ramp up and do a collagen loading protocol, probably 2 scoops of each is more appropriate, spread throughout the day. The more you take, the more I suggest you spread that out to really improve the absorption and digestion, so you get the most benefit out of it. So another question is, where is our Native Path Bone Health Collagen Peptides produced? And Native Path Bone Health Collagen Peptides are sourced from healthy, happy, pasture-raised cattle in Brazil, and they're safely transported to our manufacturing facility in the United States. No manufacturers are from China, India, or anywhere else in the world, so you can be sure of its purity and potency. And again, there's a lot of other collagens out there, but they are from India, they are from China, they're from cows on dirt that are fed the hormones, the antibiotics. That's not what you want, right? One thing I always say is, you're not just what you eat, you are what you eat eats. It's all about quality, and everything we do here at Native Path is really has that standard of purity and obeying the laws of nature, right? Cows are supposed to be roaming fields, eating grass and water. They're not supposed to be given antibiotics and hormones and grains. So will this replace my calcium supplement? And again, I'm not a huge fan of calcium supplement. Recent studies show that increasing your calcium intake doesn't actually reduce fractures or prevent bone density loss. And what's more, those supplements come with drawbacks when taken in high doses, like an increased risk of heart attack or stroke. And luckily, there's another natural ingredient that increases and that actually succeeds in strengthening your bones, and that's bioactive collagen peptides. I think you'll find it much more effective in giving you what you actually want. In my opinion, I don't think you need to take the calcium at all, right? It's more about getting the right amount of collagen, like we mentioned, vitamin D, and eating calcium-rich foods, right? So that would be things like salmon, sardines, leafy greens, like chard, kale, spinach, things like that. Almonds are also great, right? Those are better ways to get your calcium than supplementing or drinking milk, right? Think about it in that way. And in doing so, you're going to really improve the absorption of the calcium in your bones and make them stronger. But you really need those extra vitamins and minerals and the bioactive collagen to make it work for you. Now, the question is it necessary to continue the Collagen Care Plus supplement when I start using bioactive collagen? So for those that aren't familiar, Collagen Care Plus is a formula that we came out with that has vitamin A, C, vitamin B7, magnesium, zinc, hyaluronic acid, and boron citrate, right? So Collagen Care Plus does not contain more collagen. It boosts the benefits of the collagen that you're taking. It's providing the raw materials for you. And the important supporting nutrients found in Collagen Care Plus not only increase the absorption of the collagen supplement you'll be taking, but they also help to turn on your body's natural production of collagen, resulting in faster, more potent results. So I don't suggest you stop taking the Collagen Care Plus. It's very helpful for you. And what's more, research also shows that these key nutrients can even act as collagen defenders, helping to stop the unnecessary drain of collagen from your body. So that's the gist of the webinar here. I hope you enjoyed that. Now we have time for a live Q&A. And so feel free to type any questions you may have in the Q&A feature at the bottom of your screen to get your bone and skin health questions answered live. So again, thank you everyone for attending. Really appreciate it. And I hope you enjoyed that. Let's look at some questions now. And first question I see, weight bearing and weightlifting effects on bone health. Barb, I love that you asked that question. So yes, weight bearing exercises have also a huge impact on the health of your bones. So think about this. Astronauts, right? When astronauts go to outer space where there's no gravity, right? They're just floating around. They come back and have severe issues with their bone density, right? They get those people on weights right away because they know that the increased gravity and really the resistance is what makes the bone stronger. There's this thing they call it Wolff's Law, where if a stress is applied to a bone over time, it gets stronger. So I highly recommend resistance exercise. And for those listening, one of the best ways, one of the easiest ways you can do that is to carry dumbbells, right? You can get whatever dumbbells are comfortable for you, but it's the heaviest dumbbells that you can hold by your side without losing your posture. So you want to maintain a perfect posture with the heaviest dumbbells you can hold and walk for about 50 meters and then go ahead and put it down and then rest about a minute and then do it again. And then do it maybe 5 to 10 times, depending on how you're feeling, while you can maintain that perfect walk with good posture. But as a physical therapist, one of the best things I always had people do was weight bearing exercise and just carrying dumbbells. And for those that are mobile, doing things like a back squat or a deadlift, those are also great ways to get in. But even doing things like a plank on the floor, even doing bridges or bird dogs or yoga, or if you go to nativepath.com, we have a whole section of movement exercises that can all help you increase your bone density. But absolutely. So let's see here. Can teens take this collagen? Luz, like I mentioned, it's not really needed in the teen years because their collagen production hasn't declined. So it's not really needed. For the teens, really for all teens, I don't recommend many supplements at all. Just eat whole real food, get sunshine, drink water, sleep as much as you can because their body's already producing collagen on its own. Okay, will link for discounted 4-to-1 collagen be texted to us? It should be texted later on. Krista can answer that. But today we're just doing it here in this webinar, and then we're going to email everyone attending this webinar the link where you can get the discount. And wish I had known earlier, just purchase collagen. Yeah, Linda, like I mentioned, it's good to take both. It's good to take both because the collagen peptides in itself are foundational. What the bone health is going to do is give you the targeted approach, right? And what collagen peptides are going to do that the bone health doesn't do, it's going to make your tendons and ligaments strong. So keep in mind that bone health is really going to go for the bones, and that's because of the Fortibone, but also the Verisol. It's going to go to your skin, your hair, your nails, things like that. But it's not going to necessarily address the tendons and the ligaments, which is also very important, right? Your bones are connected by those tendons or by the ligaments, and your muscles attached to those bones through the tendons, right? So you need both, and I really feel it's foundational. So it's a really good question. And Linda says, I have Hashimoto's disease, rheumatoid arthritis, bulging disc from C3 to C7, L5, S1 with spinal stenosis. Will it help? So it will definitely help with the structure of those bones and the surrounding structure that creates stability with the tendons and ligaments around the back, right? So you should definitely help give you more stability around that area. And with the rheumatoid arthritis, there's a lot of inflammation that is at play there. So something I would recommend is an autoimmune protocol where you eliminate a lot of the foods that we were talking about, right? Eliminate the milk, eliminate the wheat, definitely get off the sodas and stick to more of a native diet that we talk about here that we're really, it's quality proteins, it's vegetables, it's good fat, and it's water, but it's removing the grains, the toxic fats and the sugar, right? All that stuff isn't serving you. So, and if you're still having that, Linda, if you go to nativepath.com and you go just type in back and neck, and you'll see a whole series of back and neck exercises that I put together that could also help you with your neck and your back. Let's see here. I'm definitely going to order this supplement. And my wonderful Diane, I'd love to hear that. And Diane also says, I had 3 bags of collagen peptides. Do I just add 1 serving of bioactive to my daily scoops? Yeah. Again, what I recommend is whatever you're doing, think about a 1-to-1 ratio. If someone's, and really to keep it simple, if someone's getting started for that first 4 to 6 weeks, if someone has real severe bone health issues, I would do a stronger collagen loading protocol. So probably 2 scoops of regular collagen peptides with the 10-gram scoops, and then 2 scoops of the collagen bone health spread throughout the day, right? So taking maybe 1 scoop in your morning coffee, having something at an afternoon tea, maybe a smoothie, and then maybe a nighttime collagen PM would be another way to get that and add bone health to that too. So that's a great way to do it. Rich says, I'm excited to try. Just put an order for 6 bottles. I love it, Rich. Great to hear that. And please keep us updated. If you're going to try it, go for the 180 days. With the 6 bottles, you can definitely do that. And if you have a DEXA scan, please email us back and let us know, because that stuff we love hearing that. So let's see here. Wish I had more questions. Parisa says, thank you, Dr. Chad, and all. Stay strong and healthy. You too, Parisa. Let's see here. More questions. All right. Krista put some amazing info. Thank you, Krista, for always being so helpful. All right. I have a large supply. Yeah. So a lot of people are asking the same question, the difference between collagen peptides and bone health collagen. And again, the way I look at it is, one is a targeted approach and one is foundational. One helps you produce more collagen on your own, and the other is giving you more of the raw materials to produce collagen. Does this product make your blood levels alkaline, increase? No, it does not. And let's see. All right. I would like to know about interaction. This is Mary's question. I would like to know about blood pressure meds, the interaction it has. Any esophageal issues? No, you should not experience any interaction with blood pressure meds. And so no contraindications with collagen or bone health collagen in that. All right. 2 scoops coffee. Okay, so Norma says, I'm 83 and I've used Native Path Collagen with 2 scoops in my coffee for over a year, has helped with arthritis, but need more help with wrinkles on the face. And that's perfect for bone health, and specifically because we put the Verisol in there. We went over the studies that showed how Verisol really helps with the skin in as little as 2 weeks, 6 days even, right? So Norma, I think I would love for you to try the bone health and like take a day 1 picture, to take a week 1 picture and a week 2 picture and send it to us. I would love to know if that helps you with the wrinkles on your face. The collagen peptides should definitely help with the arthritis, but I would like to know what the bone health does with the Verisol. Laura says, can you take 2 scoops at one time? You can definitely do that. What I would still recommend though is taking 1 scoop of regular collagen peptides and 1 scoop of bone health, and then later on doing another of 1 scoop of collagen and 1 scoop of bone health. I think you'll get better results in that way by spreading it out a bit. All right, seeing more questions. Oh, Pasha, Verisol. That's the other bioactive collagen that we put in the bone health formula. So Verisol is the formula that is specifically in there to improve your skin, your hair, and your nails. So I'm going to go to the Q&A. That's where more questions are popping up. All right, so Brenda says, taking 20 grams of your collagen. I'm in a loading period of just 4 weeks now. I'm 62 years old, have osteoporosis from last year, and I'm thinking of taking another 20 grams a day. And my weight is 125 to 130 pounds. I'm thinking of taking another 20 grams of collagen a day due to being in that loading period. Was going to take 40 grams next week. Based on what I've told you, would this be okay to do? I do feel better since taking collagen. Brenda, I think that's great. You're doing that. And I think it's totally okay, Brenda. What I would suggest though is kind of what we're talking about here is that you take those 40 grams. Really, it's 4 scoops that you're taking. Keep taking the 2 scoops of regular collagen and try the bone health collagen with another 2 scoops and do that for, I would suggest, maybe you've been doing it for a while, try it for another 6 weeks, right? And just see what happens. But I think you'll get better results with that way, with the combination of the two. And Luann says, I've already been diagnosed with osteoporosis, but don't want to take a prescribed Fosamax. Can I reverse or at least stop the progression of collagen with diet, exercise? Not sure whether yeah, we talked about this in the, and Luann, you asked this probably 15 minutes in the presentation before I got to that. But absolutely, you know, we've seen the charts where these things can be reversed, specifically the studies on bone health. So for you, you know, if you've been diagnosed with osteoporosis and you have that DEXA scan with your number, let's try it. Try the bone health collagen. And again, you can keep taking the regular collagen, but eliminate the foods that we talked about, you know, the milk, the grains, the sodas, you know, let's start drinking more water, getting better sleep, taking vitamin D and taking the collagen peptides along with the bone health collagen. I know you can reverse it and the studies show that, but I want to see you do it. And I want you to email us, you know, 2 to 3 months down the road with how you're doing. And Joyce says bone density in 2003 was negative 2.7 for the spine and -5 for the hip. And I've been taking Fosamax for several years, been using 20 milligrams of collagen since February. Recent bone studies were negative 2.1 in the hip, negative 2.1 in the hip, and I think you also meant negative 1.5 in the neck. So T-score, negative 2.7 in the spine and -5 in the hip. So good news is that I'm down to osteopenia and no longer osteoporosis. So first off, congratulations, Joyce. You just answered a lot of people's questions with a real life testimonial and gave a lot of people inspiration, right? There's a lot of people who have osteoporosis that are wondering they can move back up, and you're proof that you can by taking collagen. And I would say those results can be even better with the bone health. And Joyce, you said you're also taking calcium and vitamin D supplements. What is the average improvement you've seen for those taking your collagen? So yeah, you asked this question at 14 minutes in. Again, the studies kind of showed a lot of what can happen over a 4-year period. You can go from 2.4 to -1, right? You can go from osteoporosis to osteopenia. I think, Joyce, you'll get even better results in both of the areas of the spine and your hip if you take half your dose and start using the bone health collagen, right? And doing that for 3 months and just letting us know. But I thank you so much for sharing this, and such an inspiring story. So thank you, Joyce, for attending our webinars again. So Uda said, what's your opinion on DEXA scans? My research shows it is only part of the puzzle and not always accurate. And new machines are being developed that measure web strength. I hope I'm pronouncing it right, Udit. Another great question, right? So DEXA scans will look at the density, but it doesn't necessarily look at the structure, how the matrix is actually formed. And this is where the bone prescription drugs can be confusing, right? You can go into your doctor's office and your doctor can look at your DEXA scan, and it can be, you know, -2.5 and put you on bone prescription drugs and have you take that for 3 months, and you'll come back and do another DEXA scan and you'll see improvements in bone mineral density, the bone density, right? But the thing is, it doesn't necessarily come back in that good formation, which is what's so important for the actual strength of your bones, right? It's no different than what we're talking about with the foundation. If the foundation is like, it's not built right, and your bones have a natural matrix they want to follow, the DEXA scan doesn't actually show that. It just shows the density. It doesn't show the actual structure, right? So I'm not super aware of the measure web strength and what that looks like. But I would, if you have anything that you have found that's a better than a DEXA scan, please email us at our customer experience team. I would like to know about it. But for those who, it still does serve as a good baseline. It's still something. It just doesn't tell the whole picture, but it's still something, right? And what we know is that this stuff is going to improve the bone matrix, right? You're not going to have the issues with the bone matrix growing back in some weird way like you would with just the prescription drugs. So how do I get iodine with some salts? Some salts offer iodine. So you can get that with seaweed. That's a great way. That's probably the best way. You can also supplement with it. That's a great way to do that, Mary. And what oils to cook with? So Catherine, yeah, I mentioned that. And the best oils to cook with, so that would be coconut oil, avocado oil, olive oil at lower heats. But avocado oil and coconut oil are great for high heats. Butter is also great for a medium to moderately high heat, but we want to stop taking the vegetable oils, right? The vegetable oil, safflower oil, canola oil. Definitely want to get rid of margarine. Definitely want to get rid of any of the trans fats. So go to the pantry, get rid of that. And if you're interested, also, you can email our customer experience center. And I'll go ahead and put that in the chat. That's support@nativepath.com. And just go ahead and ask them for the native body reset. And the native body reset, we can email you some guides that show you exactly what fats you should be eating and what you shouldn't. Stephanie says, I'm allergic to beef, but see a need for this. Do you have any experience with people with food allergies on this product? Yeah, this is not typically something that people with food allergies have an issue with. My suggestion, Stephanie, would be to do a test, right? Test it with one bottle, just purchase one bottle and see what happens, and see if you have any negative reactions. A lot of times people don't have any reactions to that. I think it's probably because a lot of the fat might be eliminated in some way. So I would just say try it. And if you have any problems, just give us we'll send you a refund. But I would say just give it a try and see how you react to it. A lot of the times when you improve your gut health, which collagen also helps with, and you remove those foods that we're talking about, like the milk and the grains specifically and the toxic fats, a lot of the allergies go away because your body can process things. So that's just something to take into consideration. But what I would consider for you and suggest is just get one bottle, try it, and if you have any issues at all, we'll go ahead and give you a refund. So Brenda says, I have digestion issues with my stomach since last year, have been extremely bloated, which is the main symptom I have been having. Was diagnosed with SIBO last year and was treated with an antibiotic. And this year in November, had an upper endoscopy, and my GI doctor that it may have gastroparesis, which in my stomach mechanically not working right. And I've tried a food mat diet, which seemed to help, but I've gone back to adding in regular foods, still have stomach issues. And I've noticed since adding collagen, I think it may have helped, but I don't know much. I could really use your help by trying to defeat this. So Brendan, that's a really good question. I love that you did the food map diet, or the mod, yeah, I think you got the ModFap diet. So if you notice when you brought back those foods the regular foods that you started having issues, I would encourage you to go back. When it comes to digestion issues, and those can lead to autoimmune issues, which a lot of people experience, it typically takes a lot longer, right? Sometimes 3 months, sometimes 6 months, maybe even a year. So I would encourage you to stay patient and find good recipes that really work for you. But the collagen, as you mentioned, it can definitely help because collagen can help heal and seal the gut lining itself. And this is the regular collagen peptides I'm talking about. But that's the way I would go about doing this. And if you're taking an antibiotic, I would really encourage you to start taking probiotics and prebiotics if you haven't done so already. Both of those can help you. And we have a great probiotic here at Native Path, and we're coming out with a really good prebiotic because you want to fill all that up. It's very normal that people have issues with their gut after antibiotics. So those are my suggestions there. Is our collagen corn-free, Diana? Yes, it is. All of our products will always be corn-free. We don't do any of that stuff. So what if you're a vegan, Michelle? So this is not a vegan product. If you're vegan and you want to improve your bone health, I would suggest do all the other things that we're talking about here. And I don't know what proteins you can eat that, like, I don't know if you're doing eggs or not, but that would be helpful. But do the other things, right? Do magnesium, do vitamin D, do weight-bearing exercise, get some sun, right? Those things are very important. And so that's my take on that. But also really get your diet dialed in and do all the other things I was talking about. You know, it's not serving you with any sodas or any breads, right? So eat vegetables, good quality fats that we've been talking about, and that's really going to give you the best bet for you. So Peggy says, I take your collagen and feel like I'm okay. However, I now have spurs on my knee. So says the doctor. So yeah, those can happen naturally, you know, for people over time. What I would say is continue to move. A lot of times those spurs, they can be moved. They can be moved if you just keep moving, like riding the bike is a great way to do that. Just getting consistent, low load, high repetition movement. Your body and your joints can regroove things and remodel bone tissue and also the joint itself. And what we're also talking about is take care of the diet and drink a whole lot of water. You know, about half your body weight in ounces of water every day, and that should help. But you should be good. And Jane says, how do estrogen and progesterone fit into bone health? Well, they all play a part. You know, they all play a part. Your hormones are very effective, but not really as much as you think in terms of the density. It's more about the minerals and really the vitamins, but that are going to make your bones stronger. So really not as much there as you may think. And Udit says the chart mostly shows those in osteopenia. Does it help with scores less than -3 osteoporosis? Yes. No matter where you are on that chart, you're going to see improvements, right? Going from -3 to -2.5, I think you'll all see improvements no matter where you are in the chart. And again, what I'm encouraging everybody to do is to do that 180-day test, right? Do it 180-day test. Do a pre-DEXA scan and a post-DEXA scan, and then let's test it and then keep us up to date on how you're doing. Samantha says, I have a vertebrae T5 that has a fracture showing from a fall from what we think is from 2016, and it's showing that the bone is now angled shape. Will this collagen help with repairing the fracture and the shape of the bone back to normal? So that's a great question. So the collagen is definitely going to help with the fracture, you know, definitely help with the fracture. What we have to do, and the bone mineral density, it's going to help you heal up faster for sure, especially if it hasn't been healing for so long. The actual shape of the bone is going to be more dictated by your movement, right? So the bone is going to form according to the stress that you give it. So what I would encourage you to do is keep moving, right? Keep moving and doing really good functional patterns, like a bridge off the floor, like a squat off the chair, and just doing easy 10 to 15 reps, really keeping it simple and a pain-free range of motion. And again, on nativepath.com, there's a whole library of movement exercises that I'll walk you through. Samantha, if you just enter in back and also like neck, because T5 is going to be around that, kind of play a part in that too. You're going to get a whole series of exercises to kind of improve that whole area. So Pasha says, I'm taking marine collagen. Can I add native path collagen to it? You can, but honestly, Pasha, I don't think that you'll need marine collagen. I think you'll probably get better results with just our native path collagen coming from the bovine hide and the bones, specifically because it's type 1 and type 3. It's probably giving you more of what you're actually looking for. So, you know, my suggestion is just try one thing. That way you don't get too many things in there and you can really test it. And you also asked, does native path collagen rebuild knee and joint cartilage? Yes, it does. And that's where the regular collagen peptides are going to be better with that than the bone health collagen, right? So the bone health collagen is going to help with the bones. And because of also it has the verisol in there, it's going to help with the skin, the hair, and the nails, but it's not going to do as much for the joint cartilage. This is, again, why I recommend taking both for most everyone, really. So that's what I would recommend for that, to help with the bone on bone. Deborah says, how does this bovine sources affect people with high cholesterol? Negative impact, no impact on cholesterol. You know, and that's a whole other topic is is cholesterol, right? And what we're really concerned about there is heart disease, right? And what we want to keep in mind is that that cholesterol is a correlate to heart disease. It's not causal. So cholesterol is actually a hormone, and it goes to damaged areas of your arteries, really to repair, right? So we don't want to blame cholesterol or be afraid of cholesterol and think that it's causing all the problems, right? Cholesterol, I like to think of cholesterol as a lot like firemen, right? Firemen are they will show up to the fire, but and every time there's a fire, there's firemen, right? So it's easy for our minds to think, oh, the firemen are causing the fire. Just in the same way we think, oh, the cholesterol is causing the heart disease. But in the same way that the firemen are there to put out the fire, cholesterol is there to help repair a lot of stuff. So cholesterol is a bigger topic that maybe we can get to later. But just know that the bovine sources do not negatively impact the cholesterol, and cholesterol isn't necessarily a bad thing. You definitely need it. It's more about your cholesterol profile. And Janice says, how long should I do the overloading? If you're new to collagen, Janice, I would suggest like a 4 to 6 week period, especially if you're dealing with some severe issues. And then after that, do a little inventory of how you're feeling and just everything, like how your skin looks, how generally your body feels, how your pain levels are. And if you're good at that point, go ahead and cut it in half for that long maintenance. But I would always suggest, at least taking 1 scoop of collagen and 1 scoop of bone health collagen indefinitely, to get the best results. You saw those 4-year studies where people really saw the best results. So that's what I suggest. And I hear you say take both, but it gets really expensive, which is my only real issue is osteoporosis, which is best. So if finances are an issue and your only real issue is osteoporosis, then I would say it's best for you to try the bone health choice. And again, I would suggest you try it for 180 days and then let's see what it is. So let's take that baseline test, try it for 180 days, and then come back and let's see what it looks like in 3 months. Is almond milk good to drink? Brenda asks. That's a great question. It can be. It's just with almond milk, there's a lot of almond milk out there and they put a lot of sugar in it. And that's not good to drink. So look at the almond milk that you're drinking and make sure it doesn't have any sugar in it. And also look at all the fillers that they put in there. Those things aren't good for you. Those things can mess up your hormones in a major way, all the additives. So look at that. One brand of almond milk that I like that's good is Malk, and it's a little pricey, which is not great about it, but it's like just pure almond milk. There's nothing else. Another one is, I think it's Milkadamia or Macadamia or something like that, is another brand, but it does have a little bit of preservatives in there, but it doesn't have any sugar. But to work around this, what my wife and I do, we got this really great homemaking kit called Almond Cow, where you can just buy almonds. You can get organic almonds ordered online. And then all you do is put your almonds in this little thing, add some water, it like grinds it, and it comes out your almond milk. And it's a great thing to put in your coffee. So that's the number one thing I suggest if you have the funds to do that. Diana says, I recently added strontium while I've been taking Remag, liquid magnesium, vitamin D, vitamin K. Is it possible to stop strontium? I think so. Yeah, I think you could probably do that and just test. Like, again, that's the best way to handle all this stuff is to do a test, decide, here's my baseline. I'm going to stop taking strontium. And I would suggest you keep taking the magnesium, vitamin D, and vitamin K, but start taking the collagen bone health and then see what happens after 180 days. And then you'll know. I think you'll get better results. Jerry says, why does collagen decrease with age? What is the physiological change? And Jerry, the number one reason is really, it's a natural process. As far as why it changes, I think it's just part of oxidization, the way our nature made us, But I will say, in our modern culture, collagen decreases more with age relative to what our native ancestors had their collagen decrease with age, and that's basically because of the diet, right? We're just not getting near enough collagen in our natural diets, and that's a big thing. We just don't eat it, right? So that's the biggest reason why we see it in our culture. Nan says, I'm on Fosamax. How does this interact or affect taking collagen products? I have a large order of your collagen peptides that I'm taking too. Just wondering your thoughts on this. Yeah, if you're on Fosamax or any prescription drug, like so Fosamax, Boniva, Prolia, Reclass, any of those things, you can still take the collagen for sure. Like it doesn't negatively interact in every way. And in fact, you'll only see improvements in the formation of your bones, but more importantly, the actual structure of your bones. So, my goal would be to get you taking the collagen and the bone health collagen and eventually wean off the Fosamax, just simply because there's side effects to that, right? I would want you producing stronger bones on your own rather than through a prescription drug. So I would say, always talk to your doctor if you're on medications, but there's no side effects or negative interaction between the two. You should be fine. And Linda says, what age do you recommend men start taking collagen? Generally for men, I started taking collagen in my 30s, and I think that's a good time. And another thing, really most people, I recommend everybody around the age of 30 and beyond start taking it. You could see in that chart where I showed you, it naturally starts to decline around the age of 20. I didn't start taking collagen until I was around 30, mid 30s, but you could make a case of why you might want to take it around 20s, but it's really the same for men and women, but around 30 and beyond, I think it's a great thing to take for everybody. But the need for collagen as we age, as we grow older, becomes more and more. So that's why I say when you hit 40, maybe take a little more collagen, 50, maybe take a little more collagen. If you have serious issues, maybe even take a little more. Is all wheat bad? Linda says, yeah, yeah, yes, pretty much. To be honest with you, wheat is one of those things in our culture. It's at the base for a long time. It was at the base of the food pyramid, recommended to us by our government, and very, very much a pro-carb industry that we created, right? And a lot of that belief came from really bad science and the food industry wanting to make money. They make a lot of money on wheat, right? There's a lot of wheat growing in the fields, but it's not good to our health. Like for one, it's really poor in nutrients, right? They also, there's a lot of things that are bad for your digestion. A lot of things that are anti-nutrients in wheat that pull the calcium and the strong minerals out of your body. It's highly inflammatory. But the thing is, most people don't know this until they take wheat out, right? Take it out for 30 days. And I know that sounds weird, but take it out for 30 days and see what happens in your body, right? You will see radical changes. And like if there's anybody in here who has done our native body reset, I mentioned this earlier, you can just email support@nativepath.com and ask for it. We'll give it to you for free. But it's a 30-day plan that asks you to take wheat out for 30 days. And just by doing that, and we also ask you to stop doing milk, people see radical improvements in their health, radical improvements in their energy, their digestion, their skin, everything improves. But wheat is not a very nutrient-rich food, despite what we believed, right? Protein, good quality fats, vegetables, good quality fruits. That's where you want to be putting most of your focus with your food. So is all wheat bad? Yeah. Is all bread bad? Not necessarily. Like sourdough bread is not a gluten-containing grain. That's going to be much better for you. Ezekiel bread, but you're really doing it just for taste, right? You're doing it for taste, and it's fun to put like foods on bread in that way. But know that it's not a health food. It's not health food and nutrient dense in the way that good quality proteins are. Nan says, I heard that prunes are good for your bones. Your thoughts? Maybe in some ways, but not near as much as some of the other foods that I listed, right? So like winter squash, sardines, almonds, leafy greens, collards, mustard greens, turnips, kale, bok choy, spinach. Those are going to be much better foods for your bones because they're rich in calcium, right? And that's really, again, how I recommend you get your calcium. It's through eating calcium-rich foods. You don't have to go crazy on almonds, but it's through eating calcium-rich foods rather than supplementing. But prunes are great. I have no problems with prunes. I'm just not super aware that they're great for your bones. But thank you, Nan, for your question. And Brenda says, is eating gluten-free breads, etc., and any gluten-free foods okay being wheat-based? Oh, more questions came along. I'm also gluten allergic. The whole gluten-free bread industry thing, it's I don't know, my thoughts on it are just really be careful about, and think about where you put your funds, right? So if like finances are an issue and you're eating a lot of gluten-free bread or foods and thinking it's health food, like it's not really. They've just taken out something that is one little protein that can be problematic, but there's a lot of other things in some of those gluten-free foods that aren't necessarily good for you. So just be really careful of it. Look at the labels, look at the other things that are in there. Look for additives and chemicals that you can't pronounce and sugar and all that stuff. So it really just depends. But if your goal is to really improve health, I would really encourage you to be careful with the foods that are labeled gluten-free. Nancy says, can I schedule a DEXA scan without a doctor? I don't know. That may depend on your state. Typically, like in Texas, I think you do have to have a doctor prescription. I think Nancy's probably saying that because like people don't like to go to the doctor. People don't like to go to the doctor, but that may be something that you do need to do, and depending on your state. I'm not entirely sure on that. Typically, you do though. And Joyce asks, would your suggestion of getting with my doctor to stop calcium and vitamin D3 and Fosamax if I take collagen plus, bone health, and original collagen peptide? Yeah, I think that's a good thing, but get with your doctor. If your doctor's really up to speed with what's happening with calcium supplementation, he's probably super on board with you stopping to take calcium. He's also definitely probably on board with you taking vitamin D3. And, I would encourage you, Joyce, to really keep your own autonomy when it comes to your health, right? Really take a stand for yourself and say, here's the plan I want to do, right? I'm learning some more information about Fosamax. I'm learning that there's other more natural ways to improve my bone density. I want to try this bone health formula. I want to try this other plan, and I want to do it for 180 days, and I want to take a post-DEXA scan. And typically doctors are on board for that if you present them with a plan that you want to do. So that's the way I would approach it, and not just say something and consider what your doctor says gospel, especially with something like Fosamax. Because you can look up the side effects, and you can look up how like I mentioned, the bone matrix doesn't grow back as strong as it naturally does. So take all that into consideration, right? That's really important to know, but present a plan to your doctor, and I think that'll be fine. Kathy says, can collagen cause kidney stones? Just had my first stone. Typically not. Typically that's not something that the collagen can deal with. With kidney stones, again, it comes down to the foods that you eat. So I would really look at the diet, make sure that you're not having any of those sodas or the milks. Make sure you drink a lot of water, especially first thing in the morning and throughout the day. And just keep your diet simple. Keep your diet simple to good quality proteins and vegetables and good quality fats, right? And think about it that way, but really look at the diet. Typically the diet is more a part of what's causing the kidney stones. Catherine says, my 25-year-old grandson has calcaneus fracture from falling off a second story balcony. Yikes, 26 breaks just in the heel. I know he's not a senior citizen, but will this product help rebuild his bone and strengthen his foot? Yes. And since he's dealing with a fracture, and he's in his 20s, and we saw earlier on that chart how your bone density will decrease around the age of 20. This would be a good time. This would be a good time for someone in their 20s to try bone health collagen and see. So yeah, Kat, that's a great question. I do suggest it. Rich says, you said no milk. Does that include no fat milk? Yes, absolutely. That's a great question. So fat in milk is actually probably one of the only good parts of it, right? The proteins are problematic. The carbs in milk are problematic. When they homogenize it and pasteurize it, so the no fat milk literally becomes like a big bolus of sugar, which is really bad for your own blood sugar and leads to all kinds of problems. So just because something says no fat, it can actually make you really fat. Really, the no fat foods are the ones that are going to make you most fat. It's really sad, and it's why we have such a big obesity problem in this country, because of really poor food labeling and mislabels, right? So I would suggest, Rich, just try it, man. Just try it for 30 days. See how your body feels without taking out any milk. Like not the skim milk, not the no fat milk, not the whole milk. Just see what happens. And Brenda also asks, how does a person know when to lower or reduce their collagen intake, or they know what they should be taking a certain amount? So Brenda, what I suggest is try like this 4 to 6 week period. If you're just getting started and you're dealing with any serious health issue like bone health, or your density in your bones, or you're in pain or anything like that, or you're really trying to improve your skin and your hair or your nails, try it for a 4 to 6 week period. That's generally the time period I suggest. And there you're looking at like 30 to 40 grams total. You can mix that up with like half bone health, half collagen, but do a little test. Again, I'm big on testing, getting a baseline. And then if you're still having problems, maybe stay there. But if you're feeling better, which most people typically do around that 4 to 6 week period, that's where you can back it down to a half of that. So maybe 10 to 20 grams a day. And what you're looking for, though, is improvements in your symptoms. That's really the main thing that you're looking for. So thank you, Brenda. Does too much collagen cause scleroderma? No. So scleroderma is also, that's another one of those things that they put in the autoimmune bucket. So what's mainly the cause of that um, is going to be gut irritating foods, right? It goes back to the grains, the legumes, but also stuff like the sodas that have aspartame and all these chemicals in there, right? The toxic fats that I mentioned, the margarine, the safflower oil, canola oil. Those are the real things that are causing all these funky neurological skin disorders and things like that. So I would look towards that. But I don't think, you're not going to see any issues with collagen. It's a very natural thing. You need it. It's not going to cause scleroderma. Second question from Kathy. Will collagen help me to dehydrate less? I ordered 3 months. Taking your regular collagen, hair and nails growth is great. Less body pain. That's awesome. So, I mean, dehydrate less to make you less dehydrated. I'm not sure I understand the question, Kathy, but like, no, there's no effect on like hydration and collagen. But let's go back to the general rule of hydration, which is drink about half your body weight in ounces of water every day. Just kind of start with that. And coming back to salt, again, not all salt is bad. Take some Himalayan salt or some Celtic sea salt, and just add a little pinch in there, and that's going to help you absorb the water. The reason why most people are dehydrated, even if they're drinking water, is because they're not getting enough electrolytes. So sodium, potassium, magnesium, just a little bit of that can help with the hydration in a major way. Is grapeseed oil okay to use? It's fine. It's just not necessarily my favorite. It's a little more unstable. If you're going to go the grapeseed oil route, I would suggest more like avocado oil or olive oil would be better options for you, Louise. Karen says, what is the best thing to take when on an AI inhibitor for breast cancer? And I'm on anastrozole and now have osteopenia, and I'm 66. So if for the osteopenia, I would suggest, again, the best thing you can take, Karen, is the collagen bone health. Like, try the bone health and see what's happening there. And sorry about the breast cancer, but you can get it. I know a lot of women in my life who have been suffering from that, but you can overcome that. But I would suggest, again, for everybody, the bone health collagen is going to be fine. There's no contraindications to it with breast cancer in any way. Millet is a grain. Is it safe to eat? Millet is, I'm not sure if millet has gluten or not. So I would just say, let's do a little quick search on gluten and just say, does millet have gluten or not? And if it does, no. And if it doesn't, I'd say you're fine. But I really just don't eat any grains, period. I just know that Ezekiel bread and sourdough bread are gluten-free. We'll have to look up millet. Joanne says, I have severe osteoporosis and tendinosis of my shoulder, and I already take collagen. And can your collagen also help with the pain of tendinosis? Yes, it can, for sure, because it's going to help build the structure of that tendon. So you should see help with that, Joanne. But what I would also suggest is that you do some exercises to help decrease that tendinosis. So let's go to nativepath.com, go to the movement section, or just the top, type in shoulder. And there's a whole bunch of really great shoulder exercises that I'll show you that should also help with the tendinosis in your shoulder. So that's one thing, because you want to really do both. Movement is a critical part in helping us fix with our tendons and our ligaments and our bones and all that stuff. So let's do both. And Brenda says, collagen being the most abundant protein in the body, when it comes to the brain and protein due to being on dementia, is this protein something that could add to the dementia disease or the same protein? Brenda, I'm so glad you asked this question. I just found out from a conversation I had with a health scientist last week, there's actually a huge connection between bone health and brain health, specifically when it comes to things like neurological issues with dementia. One thing we have to keep in mind is in the bones themselves, there's a radical neurological network, right? A radical neurological network in your bones that is connected to your brain. It's fascinating. Normally we just think there's nerves, and those nerves connect to muscles, and those muscles connect to bones, and like, that's it. But that's not true. There's so many nerves inside the bone as well, and it's all connected to the brain. And there's a study, you know what, let me see if I can find it here. There's a study that showed about this connection of brain health and bone health. Let me see if I can find it for you here in our chat. I'll go ahead and post it, right? So you can read all about it right here. But this is another thing that that I'm really interested in. I'm going to post it in the chat here, where you can learn more about the connection between bone health and brain health. So Brenda, I would for someone on brain health concerns, I would highly suggest the bone health collagen. There's a huge connection between the health of your bones and the health of your brain and your risk for things like dementia. Go ahead and check out that story. Really good study. Sandy says, vitamin D gives me tachycardia, lasts 12 hours after the dose. Any advice for me? That's interesting that it gives you that, Sandy. I haven't heard of that. So what I would suggest for you, Sandy, if it's the supplementation, I would look at the actual supplement itself. One of the things that we put in, sometimes there's fillers in vitamin D that can be interacting with your body in some way that gives you that tachycardia. So I would say, what vitamin D are you taking? And is that one of the issues? Like, our vitamin D, we put MCT oil in there, and it helps your body absorb it in a lot better ways. So that's something you could try. It's just a different vitamin D. But the other thing, if you can't do that, I would suggest get some natural sun. And the most important times to do that would be morning sun exposure and evening sun exposure. I know it's a little cold right now, but even just going outside during the morning and taking a morning walk and having your eyes and your face see sky and light, that's going to help improve your vitamin D levels as well. But when the weather gets warmer, expose as many as you can. So those are the things I would suggest, is trying a different vitamin D, seeing if that affects. You can try ours if you like, and keep us updated on how you're feeling. But those are things that should help in a major way. Terry says, any issues with collagen accumulating in the intestinal lining with certain gut issues? No. So one of the things collagen does is it doesn't go to like random areas of the body, like these concerns about maybe bone spurs or collagen building up in my intestines and things like that. It doesn't go to random issues, random places in the body. It goes really to the damaged areas, and it just fixes that damaged area. It doesn't go to random places and things are going to build up. So it's actually going to heal and seal the gut lining, but no real concerns about it accumulating in a negative way. Sandy says, I have SI pain. So Sandy, what I would suggest for you are bridges and press-ups. And this is another thing we have at nativepat.com. Again, just go to movement, type in at the search bar, just type in back, and you'll see some exercises. You'll see actually a whole program. We have like a day 1, day 2, day 3, all the way to day 6. For you, I would say start at day 1 for the back, and then go ahead and do day 2, day 3. Once you get to day 6, stay there for about 2 weeks. I'm going to show you a lot of really great exercises to help with the SI pain, or really anybody with back pain. They're very similar in terms of what you can do. You should see some improvements there. All right, we've got great questions there. So thank you, everybody. Let's see here. Diana, I've been hearing a lot about bile. How critical is that to add to supplements? As far as adding bile to supplements, I haven't been hearing much about that, so I can't really speak too much on that. Bile is an important thing for you to produce internally. I'm not so sure about supplementing it, though. Let's see. All right. Wanda says, I take a Lacal supplement bone health and have been taking collagen sometimes, get upset stomach. So again, I'm not absorbing Vita. Should I continue taking supplement for, I'm not sure, Wanda, but what I would suggest, if you're having gut upset issues with whatever you're taking, I would suggest stopping that and trying the bone health collagen and see what impact you have. One thing, if people have digestion issues with taking collagen, sometimes it's because they're taking it too close to food. So they take collagen right away, when they wake up, and then they eat like breakfast or something else. I would suggest giving some space. Give me some space around what you eat and when you supplement. And typically that allows some space in your digestive system and some time for your body to really absorb things much better. So, okay, everybody. Well, thank you so much for attending. These are wonderful questions, wonderful webinar. Kathy, you're motivated. I'm feeling good too. Let's go. Remember, I would love to hear for everybody to try this for 3 months. Email us back and really let us know your results, because we have 50 people on our team. We love your testimonials, and we are fully confident in this. And we have that money back guarantee at 60 days. We know you can do this. We want to see these great results. So thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. And really looking forward to seeing your results. And again, we're going to have a HIP webinar We're going to talk hip mobility in 2 weeks. So I think that's going to be 2 weeks from now. So it'll be not this coming Thursday, the next Thursday. We're going to do some exercises, and I'm going to show everybody some great things that you can do to get on the floor and really strengthen up your hip, add mobility to your hip, and prevent those falls. So come to that webinar dressed in some clothes you can get active in. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm going to show you some great stuff. So thank you, everybody. Samantha, Krista, Barb, Joyce. Awesome. Thank you all. Hope you're feeling good and feeling happy. I will talk to you all very soon. All right. Yoo-hoo.